Candace owns to me, Samuel L. Jackson's character in the Django. You want to start?
There's a lot with Breonna Taylor that makes it different.
Also, I think it's different because they're the only case that's been, the case is done.
I feel like the part that was very, like, frustrating and aggravating is to see how unprotected black women are.
Yeah, even with the narratives of people bringing up, oh, she wasn't in the bed. Like, were you in there?
And then the narrative that they try to push on her boyfriend, that he was a drug dealer, that they try to say, or in a gang.
Yeah.
That was her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, the whole narrative thing as if it justifies them losing their life. My issue with all these incidences, because it happens every single time, is that somebody can do something and we're caring about when they were 5 years old and they stole from the candy store. Like, what does that have to do with right now?
Not that it matters, but just seeing, like, she was an amazing role model. She was young, she had goals, she had dreams, and it's just like, especially now, I feel like little black girls need to see that.
She was an essential worker.
She was an essential worker.
During a pandemic.
Did she want to? I think she wanted to be a
nurse. I also think too that her boyfriend was not supposed to make it out of there. They messed up. They also messed up when for the Jacob Blake. Like, Jacob Blake was not supposed to survive getting shot 7 times in his back.
In front of his kids.
There's things like that where it's like, just going to him, where it's like, how do you break up a fight, right? And then you end up getting shot. And people always bring up, oh, he's reaching for a gun. So then why are we not, what is the point of having the taser?
Right.
Because I don't understand why, how does it just go from, all right, you get, how about I just give you a warning? Like, how about I shoot you in your knee?
And then they handcuff him to the bed as if he wasn't already pronounced, what, paralyzed?
Yeah. Where was he gonna go?
Where was he going? And I feel like, not to push this narrative, but it is known that when you look at a black person, that people often think that we're stronger or faster than what we are. You look at, like, if you go back to Elijah McClain, they thought he was, what, 200 something pounds? Elijah was like 160.
When you hear the audio for that, I don't know how, like, the person that called the cops, I don't know how you're living with yourself. Going back to the Breonna Taylor incident, recently, one of the cops, I don't know which one it is, because I didn't care to know.
There's too many.
I didn't know it was, I don't think it was Higginston, but one of them did an interview with Michael Strahan, and the energy in this interview, I don't understand how he even got an interview before her boyfriend. I think the boyfriend's interview got after, but the energy this man had in the interview, it's like, somebody just died, and yet you're still making it their issue because they're dead.
Someone was posting, well, the boyfriend shot first. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you something. If somebody comes into my house and I don't know who you are and I have a gun
in the middle of the night, knowing that it's not the best area to be in, it was no knock. They weren't in police uniform. They didn't pronounce them. They didn't say that they were.
And you're of a different skin tone than me in this neighborhood.
And you're of a different skin tone. And they had the guy in custody that they were looking for hours before. Who called that?
The fact that, like, they just got off. You saw them partying on boats and yachts. Like, it just keeps happening to the point where it's like, how is it every single time you still need more context? Even with the video of Daniel Prude, now that video, I personally felt like it was way worse than George Floyd, just because simply this man had absolutely no clothes on and he had a plastic bag put over his head. When you see stuff like that, it's like, how do we still, like, how is this a conversation? This is the biggest point I gotta say. When you saw in Michigan in April, people storming the State House, rifles, angry, upset, because they had to be in quarantine and they had to wear masks, and you don't even see anybody reach towards the waistband. You don't see anybody hostile. There's no tear gas.
Rubber bullets.
Yelling, besides from the people that, like, I don't understand how you can see that and not see it a month later and think, oh my gosh, this is a riot, but that was a protest.
Where there weren't any rifles present, where people are in t-shirts and sweatpants with signs.
And then when you see people at the top saying or calling certain individuals thugs and then honoring people that are taking a stance on their rights, it's kind of like the hypocrisy. Like, it doesn't make, it literally makes no sense. And so I guess in conclusion with this whole everything, you can argue about an organization all you want to. At the end of the day, the organization we are talking about was established in 2013, and long before 2013, there was Rodney King and many other individuals. And you can't really say that you're not going to support marginalized individuals because of an organization and make it solely about the organization or minimize it to that, because it's been happening before 2013 and 400 years ago. It really just takes like a certain privilege of just not being willing to care, not being willing to understand, and just going about your day.
Right.
And I think that as we move towards the end of this, like I think that as we go like with the recent events that have been happening, it's kind of hard for me to talk about anything with success because of experiencing all the backlash from saying stuff about negative things. Now, if I say something about positive things, especially from I feel like people that don't look like me or people that are supposed to be like Christians,
right.
And I consider myself like we consider us believers. So it's like to see such negative impact and nothing being said from people that are supposed to be acting like Jesus. It's kind of just like it doesn't make sense. We covered a lot. I guess we can sum this up. Like, how do you feel like when you go back to like work environments or being out in the like? Because for me, I work in corporate America, so when I see somebody die and then the next day I'm being asked, hey, how was your weekend? I can't really say, it wasn't too good because someone just died. You're hearing conversations in the work environment. A lot of people use the word riot, and while there were instances where there were riots, for the most part, we can call it a protest.
Let's keep in mind, and you can even Google this, only 7% of protests had turned violent. Only 7%.
And I feel like we have to bring it back to the root of why they turn violent.
Exactly. I feel like there's definitely a different attitude. Now, just working in retail, you deal with different personalities constantly. Besides the personality, there's an underlying tension.
There is. And I feel like the mask have definitely been helping me out because they can't see my facial expression.
Half the time, a coping mechanism that I've learned is eyes down. If I'm even talking, like, you know what I mean? Just focus on what's in front of you.
You definitely get a hey, how are you? And then I will continue to start folding your clothes in the bag. Okay, your total is.
Yeah. There's always something that's gonna throw you off because you're gonna see a certain hat or a certain mask or a certain shirt or something, some type of
paraphernalia that's gonna be like
I do what I have to do and then wish you on having a good day. Because I feel like now
you're doing it on purpose. You want a reaction. I am not the person that you can come to and expect to get a reaction from. It is not going to happen. I will literally give you the poker face of your life.
If something happens and like people know, like they just assume just because you look a certain way you're gonna have certain beliefs, right? When they have opposite beliefs, so they start like nudging. My new thing is now agreeing. And then going on with it. I'll be more into the conversation than you were.
Say that I am the only black person you know. Now is not your opportunity to come and bring all of your opinions and beliefs on me and expect for me to just be like cool with it.
And then it comes out of nowhere. That's what gets me, because you could just be like, oh, how's your day? Well, I think, and I'm like,
oh, I was just asking about the weather.
What'd you have for breakfast? Maybe I can try something.
Do you have any plans this weekend?
Do you want to make plans? Not anymore.
So I feel like they already have a certain expectation of what they think you're gonna say. So then when you don't say it, But also a tip that me and Anaya do is I get extremely quiet and I let you go ahead and talk it out with yourselves. And it happens to me with people that I don't even know your name, man. I don't even know your name.
Working in retail, we really only ask 2 questions. Did you find everything okay and how are you? I just want to know how those 2 questions turn into your political beliefs.
Now you feel so comfortable sharing that with somebody that doesn't look like you and but potentially could definitely have a different belief. Like why would you feel so comfortable to be so sharing?
Exactly. Hey, I just smile and nod, but now I think I'm gonna be like, yeah, I agree. It's when you get their reaction, that's how you know there's an issue and they continue to believe and do the things that they do because they know there's an issue.
Yeah.
But they don't care enough to try to work on it, to try to fix it. So now I'm gonna play on.
And I feel like that segues into the next topic. If you guys don't know, today is November 9th. I believe on November 7th, do you know what? I think something big happened on November 7th. I'm not really sure.
Hey!
But I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you believe in the statement, Make America Great Again.
No. Because then I'm gonna ask, when was America great? Now, some people might say...
Some people might say 2008.
Some people might say right after 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
Because that's when you start to see unity. But in general...
No, because when you have that, when you see that statement, for me, I literally have to think, okay, 2008, Obama was elected. That was pretty good. And even then, there was a crisis with the economy. We were still in like a war.
Yep.
And then I think back to, like you said, 2001. I think maybe even the 90s period, like
maybe right before 9/11, then after.
in 1989.
Yeah.
Because then when you start going upward, you start getting segregation, you start getting Jim Crow, you have the Nazis, or we had to go deploy people for that. You have whites only signs, which is another thing that people don't bring up a lot. No one had an issue with the whites only sign.
But they have an issue.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
But they have an issue when only
certain colors are
mentioned
in other statements. It's like, what period is it that we're going back to? Because if you are going back to that period, it's gonna jeopardize some individuals.
Exactly, and I feel like I need that explained to me because I think I need that explained coming from the person who started it.
Yeah.
Because everyone can have their own little take on what they think of it, but let's go back to the root.
I mean, I could say it now and be like, okay, because of what's coming.
Yeah.
Did you see Joe Biden's hat? Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen his hat, but in response to that statement, it says, "We just did 46."
I get it now.
You get it? That's why I said I need to buy that hat. I've never bought any type of. I think I have a Obama magnet. That's the only thing I bought during his election. I think I need that hat. Yeah. Because it makes sense. That's the only time where I can. That's why I asked you the question. Like now, okay, yeah, I can say that statement now.
Right.
I can say it now.
Right.
But before.
When are we going back to? Because
yeah, even if we go back 4 years.
When were you living that it was so great? Maybe the Teletubbies, I was pretty...
That's what I'm trying to say, like, when was it? So this whole weekend, we've been in talks, and I'm not gonna front when I say this, I was looking at feet. I didn't see it all the way through. I remember we talked several times that I was saying prayers several times.
I expected the worst so that the best could happen. I was already fixated in my mind that it wasn't gonna go the way that it needed to go, and I'm not gonna say the way I wanted to go, I'm gonna say the way that it needed to go.
I posted end of the world shopping haul.
Yeah.
I posted that because I felt like it was about to be the end of the world if it didn't go a certain way. And even still, we haven't posted anything about it because I need to see it happen.
I need him to sit down in that chair and sign a few bills.
I need his hand on the Bible as he's standing in the cold on that platform podium.
With Dr. Jill, that gets me. Dr.
Jill. She's the new Dr. Phil.
Hey.
So this whole week was stressful. I was staying up till 3 a.m. I had CNN on my laptop. I had Twitter on my phone. ABC on the computer. Back to back to back to back to back. And all they kept doing is giving us no results.
For me to get through it, I had to forget it was happening. I really did. I just had to move on, kept keeping my mind occupied.
On November 3rd, I had to go in for work, and I can't tell you anything I did that day. I don't know not one thing I did. Tuesday was fine. Wednesday, I was kind of like, all right, so they're still counting ballots. This is gonna take some time. Thursday, I was kind of getting to the point where like, y'all, if you don't announce it, because there had already been so much of a leap. Like, there's so much of a difference where it's gonna be like, okay, there's still, it could go either way at this point. Friday, I was like, all right, call it.
All right.
Call it.
Right.
Concede, like, end this now. Yeah. I think purposely it waited till Saturday so people could get, you know, they get a celebration in. George Stephanopoulos, bless this man's heart, he had to still be partisan. Like, he had to have that poker face. Yeah. But I feel like everybody was like...
I feel like a lot of them were like, they just felt the weight off their shoulders.
Because I also feel like a lot of the reporters got a lot of backlash the last 4 years. Just from reporting news. Kamala walking on stage to Mary J. Blige, let me tell you, that song has been on a repeat this entire day. I didn't realize the lyrics. I heard the song before, but when you listen to the lyrics, it's like, okay, I see why this is your walkout song.
Right. After seeing her walk out in that outfit, I am ready for the next, hopefully continuous 4 years.
Listen, Olivia Pope could never.
The queen.
silk, white press.
Not a
speckle. And then I saw Joseph running. And I said to myself, if this man does not sit down, he needs not to leave the house until January 20th.
Yeah.
He needs to get wheelchair. At this point, Kamala needs to do every single press.
Everything.
We need you, Joe. We need you to sit down. Just for our safety.
Yeah.
All I need is for him to get confirmed.
Yes. I need him to be wheelchaired out to the Bible.
Yes, I feel bad because I feel like he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like he needs to tone it down. Like now, okay, you made it. Now let's settle down because he's up there.
I don't want to say anything and I don't want to get overly excited, but
I feel like SNL, they have been kind of like giving some type of hope and joy because when you watch those debates, listen, first of all, I thought kids were off limits. I thought you didn't talk about other people's kids, let alone people's kids that are deceased or had some type of
addiction,
medical attention. And I thought that was a very low.
No matter who it was, like even if it was the other way around, I would still have that same.
I didn't want to talk about Lucifer's kids.
Yeah.
Watching those debates and then still seeing that 72 million people voted for him still. The first debate was like enough for me to be like, okay, if you are still in support, it's kind of just like, all right, you and I personally, I can respect that. If you want to double down and say, yep, that's what I am. Okay, I didn't know that Joe had a speech impediment.
I didn't know that either, and now hearing like the comments of Sleepy Joe. That is very frustrating.
I think I got teary-eyed during because if I had a speech impediment and you kept interrupting me, and I also had to be up there being partisan, I also had to not react, I also had to not flip out, I also still had to be professional, I would be flipping out and losing my mind too. You know how hard I get mad with getting interrupted and I don't have a speech impediment. Can you imagine that? He does a very good job talking.
Very good job. And what I noticed learning from people who have that same speech impediment, he was thinking of words before his stutter would happen. He can feel it coming and then he would change the word that he was gonna say to prevent us.
Joe is up.
Yeah, he was quick with what he was gonna say, and he knew what.
But it took years of that. He is 70.
Yeah.
Is he 78 or 74? Which one is? I think Trump's 74.
Couldn't tell you.
I feel like Joe is a part of the cookout. Like he really is.
He's invited.
I've seen like him just before, like just in Obama's presidency. Him just like dancing and just like, I feel like he's so cute to me.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand you could be mean to somebody that's so cute.
So I'm a really big person in growth, and what's very frustrating or rubs me the wrong way when people are bringing up his past. Everyone has a past, and I can give it, like, even I've had to work on things where I'm proud to say, like, to speak on and be like, this is what I did wrong and this is what I'm doing now to fix it.
Both Kamala and Joe have past.
Yes.
They had stuff in their past that they had done. I feel like it's a different story when you have somebody still in present day.
Yes.
Still doing stuff in present day. Today is November 9th, and we're still getting tweets. Like, we're still getting very aggressive tweets.
Exactly.
It's like, that's not about your past, it's just who you are.
If you can learn and you can listen from mistakes that you've made, and you're making an effort,
that's why
I'm
also not really with the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Unless you do something that's like, but even still, like, because we're all supposed to be forgiving. Like, even for Derek Chauvin, like, it's hard to pray for him. It really is, but it's just like, if you, from a Christian perspective, it's like, we're all supposed to be forgiven. But it's like, yes, Joe signed that bill.
Yeah.
But you also had somebody that had 4 people's names on a death list for something they didn't even do, and still to this day never apologized for it.
Right.
Then you have somebody that's talking about stand back, stand by.
To a certain group of people who spread nothing but hate.
When we use certain scriptures about, praying for our leaders, and then you have people talking about Jezebel spirits and just not praying for our leaders. It's like, is that a conditional statement? Is it only for certain individuals? Or I think I sent you the video when you have pastors speaking tongues about stuff that doesn't make sense, calling African angels.
Push-ups,
praying over bags of peas. Sorry.
No, I'm here for the Chris Como.
Can we just have motorcycles for Chris Como? Listen, I want to be respectful to his wife. I really do. Listen. Him and Don Lemon are such the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
I love seeing them together.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think about CNN. Just from a comedy perspective, you come
Don, he could, his presence just makes me want to laugh because everything he says is always underlying. Like he has that like little, like he's about to laugh.
Yes.
Like he wants to laugh, but he has to keep it in. But then he doesn't care to keep it in.
Yes. Also, Van Jones crying. I felt like Van Jones spoke for everyone when he was crying. I really did. Look at what he looks like.
The media said Joe Biden's president.
Sir, what scripture was that? That was scary to me. It sounded like hyenas in the Lion King.
Like no, like heavy on what scripture was that?
We're just seeing videos like that guy and then the lady who was just like,
Right.
that was a lot. Did you get everything?
I feel a lot better.
I feel like I feel better posting this now because of there's like something to look forward to. Now, mind you, neither one is perfect. We still need to be praying.
Yeah.
We still need to be holding them accountable. We still need to be keeping our foot on that
Exactly.
gas. But I feel like it was a sigh of release. Like Van Jones like, summed it up really well.
I feel like I'm more comfortable with them because I feel like they will listen more and try.
And I feel like it really was dividing.
Exactly.
Like you can't sit here and act like,
Exactly.
come on now. It really was, especially after this past summer. This is pretty much the video. I hope you guys enjoyed our commentary. Please let us know down below what you thought. Remember, I will block you. You want to tell them your socials where they can find you?
Instagram ANYIA ANYX, Snapchat ANYIA0815.
We'll have it all in the description box below on the screen somewhere. Also, let us know if you think we should do a podcast. But yeah, guys, you guys know where to follow me, hannahxcole. And until next time, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Can never be mad at you. Remember being broke, I was eyeing you. Now I have you. But keep it 100, did you have faith when I